Hello and welcome to VChess. My name is Naiditsch. I am a chess grandmaster and we continue with our educational streams. I will be playing rapid games and will be commenting on the games. Let's go with our first game. By the way, we have a funny rating 2777. Alright. Let's see who will be our first opponent. Still waiting to get paired, and today first to say hello is Grand Miner 1. Welcome, Grand Miner. How are you doing? So, our first opponent here, we are with the black pieces. Let's go, d4, knight f6. Let's go with the King's Indian defense. So we play something aggressive in our first rapid game. Everything is very normal. We have the King's Indian with the move g3. Let's go with the move d6. And knight on bd7, followed by the move e5. So all is pretty normal. We can expect now white to fight for the center. e4 would be normal. Maybe first h3 is also normal. No, we have the move e4, so rook e8. All is still as usual. We try to be active, obviously, here in the center. Next move of white is going to decide the strategy of white. We have the move bishop e3. Interesting, because now we have these options of knight on g4 somewhere. Usually bishop e3 is not being played that often, so maybe I can take it. Now we would like to capture the e4 pawn next. Probably the knight is going to take. This would be the usual play here with the white pieces, because white has to defend the pawn on e4. Now we go knight c5, attacking the pawn on e4 once again, and we have this option of jumping with a knight on g4 in case we need it to attack the bishop on e3. So this is what we do now. Queen on c2 I think is not the best. Yes, it is defending the pawn on e4, but we have now the option of knight on g4. So here the bishop is under attack, and not easy because white has to defend the bishop and simultaneously white has to defend the knight on d4. So white is losing the bishop on e3. This is a piece that white should keep. To lose the bishop on e3 is not the best. So we have an excellent start of the game. b4, very aggressive play by our opponent. Obviously we're gonna take the bishop, so let's take it. Knight is under attack. We can go back with a knight on e6. Look at this pawn structure. This is not looking like it is a great pawn structure. Rook on d1. White is trying to be solid, but it is too late to be solid because we took the bishop on e3. So we have definitely a great position here with the black pieces. Still a lot of pieces in the center, so everything can happen here. We have rook versus queen. We have to get out with the queen somewhere. For example, queen on g5 is not looking bad at all. So maybe let's play it. We're attacking immediately the pawn on e3. And we're hoping maybe for some tactical options here. Queen on f2, pretty safe. I have the move c5, but f7 is hanging, so I have to defend the pawn on f7. I can do it in several ways here. Just a simple rook to f8 is possible. Nothing wrong with that, because the rook is not doing much now on the e file, so I think I will just go back. Only thing that bothers me a little bit, there is some kind of knight on d5, but I think it is fine, so let's just go back with the rook to f8. No problem. Knight on d5. Yes, this is what I also thought might be the option, but here c6 I think is possible, or the move c5, but then the knight might go somewhere here. So we would not like this to happen, so I think c6 is the move. On the other hand, there are no real threats, but I think still the move c6 is just the right way to play the current positions. White has to decide what to do next with the knight on d5. So yeah, looks like we are doing solid for the moment with the black pieces. Next would be to play something like a5 to try to get the rook into the game. Okay, first we have the queen under attack, so we have to go back with the queen. We can try to be a bit more active, but I think just to go back is fine, so let's go back. a5 is coming next. We try to get the rook in the game, or we try to be strong here on the e file. So for example, bishop e5 somewhere, overprotecting the pawn on d6. All of this is looking very, very solid. Welcome everyone to the in the chat to VChess. We have here chess educational channel. I try to explain the games the best way I can, so we learn from the games. Knight on f6. It is a check, obviously, so now we can go straight for a better endgame. I think I'm going to do that. It's not a must. We can play also king h8. Nothing wrong with king h8. But this endgame is just, I think, a bit better for black, so why not to enter a slightly better endgame? We just take. King on g7, so we improve the position of the king a little bit. And look at this pawn structure. It is a better pawn structure, obviously, for black. Rook on f1, little pressure here, but it's not a very big pressure. Now it's pity I don't have knight on d4 and bishop f5. Would be a great idea to win exchange, but the pawn on d6 is hanging, so we cannot do that at the current moment. We can play some positional moves like h5, for example, to fix the structure. I think it is normal, or to play the move a5. I like the move a5 because it feels like it is a good move. As well, the move c5 might be the right reaction, but the knight goes over d5 to our pawn on d6. So I think a5 immediately is the right choice. Let us double check if there are some tricks for white. Maybe something like h5, h6 is coming, but again, this is not a very dangerous threat. So I think a5 is just the way to play the current positions. Hello everyone, welcome. In case you have some chess questions, please do ask them. In case I see the chat, I will be glad to answer. Just sometimes it's difficult to play and simultaneously pay attention to the chat. But in case I see a question, I will be definitely answering it. We have the move b5. We can go simple bishop on d7. All this is going to fall long run. We have c5 option, which is also pretty good, I think, because we have just a much better pawn structure. But somehow I feel that bishop d7 should be the move, but not sure, but maybe. Okay, bishop d7, let's just be safe. The rook on f6 might be somewhere under attack, so both rooks of white not doing much here on the f-file. The f7 pawn is very well defended. I think we have a slightly better endgame. Now the b-file is getting open, so we'll try to do some damage on the b-file. Long run, c4 is weak, e4 is weak, so we just need to be patient, and after we should be able to get a better play here. e5, very, very aggressive play by our opponent, but does it work? This is the question, because it feels like it should not be working. But maybe. So let's have a calculation. We take, the knight is gonna take here. Now we have this option somewhere of knight f4. But it is not winning the game yet. In case we take on c6, can we win the following position? I don't think we can win it. This is a problem. Does e5 really work? This would be a little bit strange, but maybe it does. In case we take on d4, this would be still slightly better for black, but not so much. This is the thing. So it feels like I should be able to take with a pawn and somehow to get this knight f4 working, because the rook is under attack. I just don't see how to do that. There might be a way that I'm just missing, but I don't see how to make it work. So let's go with the move. We take. Probably white is going to take with a pawn. Opponent is considering something else, but I don't know what is there to consider, so we take the pawn on e5. Next, we're gonna defend the pawn on c6. Next, we will try to get out the bishop, for example, here on e6, and yes, it is very close to be equal, but still we're pushing because we have a little bit better structure. e5 might be falling in the future. We might just play this bishop e6, quite unpleasant. The pawn on c4 would be under attack, but it's a little advantage for black, so this is a very, very small advantage here, obviously, very, very small. Let's go with a move rook to c7 first, I think. Or... I think so, yeah. We are defending the pawn, defending the bishop. Somewhere bishop e6 will be played, or the move rook to e8 and the e5 pawn is weak. So in theory we're still doing better, but I think I have missed most of the advantage. So here it is very, very small advantage for black. c5, very good move by our opponent. He plays excellent game. c5 to block the bishop on d7 on a passive position. Very, very good play. Now we think bishop on e6 would be normal, I think, because in case he takes the pawn, we're gonna win it back. So I think I will go with the move bishop e6, but it's so difficult to win the current position, so difficult. How am I gonna win it? Maybe rook to b8. Try to be a bit more active, but we have this rook takes d7 and bishop c6 tactics, so I have to be careful with the tactics. Rook on d1. I think I can go bishop e6, because the pawn on a2 is under attack. Still, this rook on d6, very, very strong. Obviously, black is not risking to lose the game, but it's difficult to win the game. This is the main issue of the current position. I have to somehow get to the a pawn and then trying to push my a pawn forward. So we have the move rook to d2, another very good move, but I think I have this option here to try to get the pawn. He's gonna take, we're gonna take the bishop endgame. The king is very near, but not sure. I think we can try. Another idea is to play this a4, a3. Might also give some winning chances to black, but it feels like it should be a draw. This is the problem, but maybe it is the best chance actually to push the pawn forward. Looks like a draw, but maybe. Let's push first the pawn forward, because in case we get with the pawn to a3, then we have all these options of playing rook to b2. They become a little bit more powerful. I still have the option of rook to b1, rook to a1. Maybe I should have played it, or maybe I should have played actually rook to c1, just winning the pawn on c5. Yeah, I should have done, I think, rook to b1 check, rook c1. This would have been even better. But it feels good to have the a4, a3 idea, so sometimes difficult to say what is a better move. In case we manage to get the pawn to a3, it might get tricky for white. A2 pawn is going to fall. In case we win the pawn on c5, also the pawn on e5 is going to fall. So white is still under pressure. This is not like it is an immediate draw. It is not. White has to play a good game to hold here this position into a draw. Objectively speaking, yes, white should be able to hold, but still a fight. It is still a fight. We're still trying to get a better endgame, but I think instead of this, I should have give a check and rook c1, because c5 pawn would just fall straight away. e5 pawn would be falling next, and black would have good winning chances. So this is maybe a mistake by me. Now we can get to the a2 pawn, but I think I should play the move a3. This is what I wanted. Let's go with the move a3. Next, we're gonna put the rook on b2. Still, we are pushing for a win, but there are good chances to hold this with the white pieces. So let's see. Let's see how the game is going to develop. If we will get actually some winning chances here. Maybe. Let's see. If the bishop moves, we're gonna take the pawn. So still we have some little winning chances left. Let's see the next move. The next move I think is very, very important. He goes here. I would put the bishop to d5. I don't know why he put the bishop to e4, because now I think we can just take here on c5 and the e5 pawn is going to fall. I think he should have moved with the bishop to d5. Now I think this pawn a3 is going to decide the game, because a2 is weak forever. And we have options of just keeping the pawn alive or more aggressive, this rook to b2 next. The pawn on e5 is going to fall, so I think now we have good winning chances. So we are back. Rook on a6, a6, a little bit strange because we have this option here, but maybe first to take, why not? Let's take the pawn. The bishop is under attack, and still we have this option of rook to b2 next. Or are we just gonna protect the pawn on a3? So we have the choice. Ooh, what is this? I can... It's not a win, yeah. This might be not a win, so how can we execute? I think this should be a win. So rook on b2. Probably he wants to take and to play the move rook to b6. The rook comes here. I don't see something better. And then we have this option of rook to e3, just winning the pawn on g3, which is enough to win the game. We have also the option of rook d5, followed by the move rook to d2, and it also looks like it is a game over. So I think I better play the move rook on d5. Both are looking winning for black. I think this is just more easier way to win. We get the rook on d2, and that's it basically, because king is cut on the first rank. Yes, we get the rook here. Next move, we're gonna go here, and that's it. There is no way to survive the current position with the white pieces. Very easy win. Bishop on f5. In case he takes, we're gonna take back. We're gonna give a check here, and we're gonna promote to b1 next. We give the check. Now we promote into a queen, and I think it is a resignation. No, it is not a resignation. He tries to win on time against us, but I don't think we have 1 minute and 24 seconds, so this should be enough to win the game. Yes, resignation. We're winning the first game of today's session. Not a masterpiece, I would say, but we controlled the game more or less. But I think, yeah, somewhere I missed most of my advantage, but then we've been back. Alright, let's go immediately with the next game. So, welcome everyone. I hope you're enjoying my comments, I hope you're enjoying the games. Like and subscribe, especially give us some likes so the algorithm picks up the live stream. In case you're new to VChess, we have here chess educational material. So we try to give you some benefits, try to improve maybe your own play. Now we have the Sicilian here with the move bishop takes c6, d3, all is pretty normal, all is theory. It's the move h3, this is one of the main lines. Alright, let me read for a second the chat. Please do ask in the chat a question in case you have, just sometimes it's difficult for me to see the chat and play simultaneously. No major questions in the chat, alright. As well, we have many good people here in the chat with us, so they might give you an answer in case I do not see your comments. e5, blocking the bishop is not a bad idea, but now we switch to the strategy of playing the move b4. This is the downside of the move e5, that white is switching. So b4 is now the main idea for white after the move e5. a5, normal. Now we go knight d2. Still, we would like to get this b4 done. Sometimes it does work to sacrifice here the pawn. Not always, but sometimes we might calculate here. Can we give already the pawn? Because take. Rook takes a1. We're gonna take, and something like queen a4 is possible because the pawn cannot be defended. So it is possible, yeah. I think we can play the move b4. As well, we might just play the move knight on c4, so why not? Let's get first the knight on c4, beautiful position for the white knight. We're getting ready to play the move b4. Maybe I should have played b4 immediately, I don't know. I think both is normal, both deserves pretty much of attention. Sometimes it's hard to say what is better. Let's try with the move knight on c4. I think it's time to push the move b4 because it is a main idea to play the move b4, and I think I should go with it. Sometimes the window of opportunity might close, so we better play the move b4. As you can see, the bishop on e3 is getting now very powerful. The bishop on g7 is not so great temporarily. And white black is still 2 moves away from the short castle, so maybe we're in time to do something. Hello and welcome to everyone. How are you doing today? I already saw Solomon is as usual with us almost every day. Welcome to Solomon. Hadi BM probably as well, but I don't see Hadi. Solomon, of course, please no political things here. We don't do politics. This is a chess channel, so please do not ask things like, can I play you? No, I'm playing sometimes against people who do support the channel, but otherwise no, because in case you do not support us, why should we support you? I think we should be fair. Knight on e7. Now we have again few options here. c5 option I think is giving white some advantage, easy option, so I think I'm gonna play it because it feels just the right way to go. We play the move c5. Next we can take with the bishop on c5 or with the pawn on c5. Both is looking like it gives to white some advantage here. b5, interesting. Is it a good move to play the move b5 or it is a bad move? Because there's a4 coming. Yes, I see that, but is it something good for black? This is a question because, for example, I have here queen on d6 looking pretty nice. To put the queen on d6, later we're gonna win the pawn on a5. Is it a better endgame or it is okay for black? This is a question. I think it looks pretty dangerous for black in my opinion. So we have this option here of playing the move queen on d6. Interesting. We have the option of just doing nothing because in case of a4 I'm gonna play the move c4 and this is better for white. So with nothing I mean we can just short castle like an example. This is for sure a better position. Knight on e7 is just completely out of the game. I think we are doing better with a simple move short castle. But this endgame is also very lucrative for white, so endgame or no endgame, this is the question now. I don't know because both is looking good. So sometimes when you have two options that are pretty good, difficult to decide, so we have to think endgame or no endgame. Queen on d6 or no queen on d6. Hard to say. Hard to say, both is looking good. Short castle or queen on d6. I don't know, so let's go for the endgame. Both again is looking very good, so maybe endgame. Let's see. Because I think black has to enter the endgame. There is nothing else. In case black queen is moving somewhere, we're gonna win the pawn on a5, so probably endgame is what we're going to see next. Our opponent is considering something else, but yeah, he finally decides for the endgame. This is as expected. Knight c8 also as expected. Now I can take the pawn, and obviously this is better for white, but I think it's even more better to get the bishop to c5 because we're defending the pawn on d6. The knight is I like to call it visiting the bathroom. No moves for the knight from c8. The pawn is under attack, and black cannot really take the pawn on d6 because there is rook to d1 coming. So I believe that we have excellent position here with the white pieces. We can take the pawn now on a5. Looks like the right decision to do, because why not take the pawn in case we can. We have the a pawn next, king on e2, we keep the king in the center. d6 pawn cannot be won easily back. Maybe it is possible to win the pawn back, but still black has a little bit of struggle by winning the pawn on d6 back, so white should be having a better position in my opinion. Still, it is a fight. This is not an easy position, so f6, excellent move by our opponent. Bishop f8 is getting next, and can we somehow king e2, bishop f8, rook on d1? How black is going to capture the pawn on d6 back? I don't know how he's planning to do that, so I will play the move king on e2. Then I will get the rook on d1, and let's see. Because black still will need to play something like rook on d8, followed by the move king e6. It takes a lot of time. We can be eventually very quick here with a6, a7. Knight is not perfectly positioned. Knight should be... oh, he takes. What is this? He takes, and of course we're gonna play the move rook on d1. So we have here the pin, and now we have a winning continuation. And before I'm gonna play the move, I give you some time to find it, and of course we are going to push the F button. Boom! Before we have winning continuation, I'm pushing the F. White to play, white is winning. I give you 15-20 seconds to find the winning continuation for white. Let's see how strong you are. Usually we have a very strong people watching. We have excellent viewers. I give you a little bit of time. 10 more seconds. 10 more seconds to find the next winning move for white. Alright, that's it. I'm going to play the move, and to those of you who saw the move rook to d6, excellent. Excellent work. Rook on d1 now. And that's it, because we take the bishop on d6, we're gonna win the pawn on f6, etc, etc. So the game is over. 2 pieces for the rook. He might be able to win the pawn on a5, but this is not helping because we are going to take on d6 and to take on f6. So the game is objectively lost for black. Still, in chess you always have to be careful, and this is a mistake that is done by everyone as well, by me. Sometimes we feel too confident, too comfortable, and then the blunders are coming. So in case you want to have a good result in a chess game, you have to stay focused till the last move of the game. In chess, it's not like in football, that in soccer, like you're leading 5-0 and yes, you're gonna win the match, maybe 5-2. But in chess, you can play fantastic game, 1 blunder, that's it, you're gone. So chess is a brutal game, and it is, in case you would like to have a good result in a brutal game, you have to be brutal yourself. There is no other way. So stay focused till the last move of the game. 1 blunder, that's it, yeah. So, king on e7, we can give another check and take the pawn on c6. I will start collecting now the chess material here. We have another beautiful check on c7 to the king. In case king goes forward, I will give you the chance to play the next move. And in case black is going to play something else, well, what is there to play? King on g8. Ooh, the king on the 8th rank. Take a look at this. Rook h8 and king on g8. I think I would prefer to resign my games than to play a move like king g8. It feels just way too ugly. So thank you very much, I Play Chess, for the support. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. I Play Chess is for the moment the biggest supporter of our channel. I will read the message from the I Play Chess. Beautiful move, sir. You can trim shorts from live stream to post on YouTube. Yes, it's maybe a good idea. I Play Chess. The problem of this is that it takes a lot of time to do this short. Yep, this is a thing that it takes a lot of time, not so easy to get it done. But maybe, yeah, but maybe because I'm doing the shorts on endgames now, they're more easy to produce. But alright, maybe we are thinking to get this idea of yours done. Just little time where not so many people currently, and yeah, the execution of the idea not so easy. Let's go back to the game here. How do we win the current position? We can enjoy, of course, the position, but the best is in case we can win some material. I think this can be done by, for example, bishop on e7, and maybe we will be able to win the pawn on f6, after which the game is just over. What else can I do here? I can play the move g4, followed by the move g5. Also, this is leading to a winning position, so g4 is usually a good move. I like the move g4. There is no rush, there are no threats, there is no nothing, so let's play the move g4. King g8 and the rook on h8 are completely stuck there. We have a lot of time. g5. Now it would be very good to get the knight from f3 to the f5 square. How can we get the knight there? What is the easiest way to get the knight? Let me think for a little bit, because again we have so many winning ways. I like to play the move bishop e7 first, because okay, let's try to grab the pawn on g7 in case we can. In case we can win the pawn, the game is over immediately. And rook a6, black is holding. Black is holding. Unbelievable that I don't see a straight win in the current position. So, okay, let me play just this. Knight is getting to f5. Fantastic knight over there. King on f7. He tries to get the king on g6. Well, that's okay. So, let's get... Or should I give a check first? Let's play this, and knight gets to f5. In case I get the knight to f5, this must be just to win, or the knight to d5. I don't think it matters. We have here this kind of pawn structure is going to fall. So let's play safe move, bishop on b4. It can be protected by c3. Next, we're gonna get the knight on f5, so as you can see, we don't give our opponent real chances. We try to be very, very safe. Because why to give chances in case you're winning? And this advice, I think, is pretty good for your own games. Don't let your opponent do some tricky stuff, because once the tricks are starting, it might get not so easy. So it's good to prevent the tricks. Even if you are having a winning position, and obviously we do have a winning position, still I'm trying to prevent the tricks from black, because this is the easiest way to win the game in most of the cases. Now we will get the beautiful knight here, or the beautiful knight on d5 in both cases. As the position of black is hopeless here. Just I have to play a little bit quicker. So there is rook c8 coming. He's trying to change our rooks, but we have the move knight on d5, attacking the pawn on f6. In case of rook c8, we have the fork here, so this is not possible to do for black. Rook on e6, and I believe it's time to collect a little bit of material. Can we win the game somehow immediately? Okay, let's go with the move c3, just for fun. Next, bishop e7 somewhere, should finish the game. Or king f3 first. Just for fun to put our pieces to like perfect positions. Look at this. King on g3. No rush, no rush. Let's enjoy the game. Let's enjoy it. So, next, let's play this move. Again, it's not a must. Or should we collect the pawn f6? Okay, let's collect. Let's finish the game, let's finish the jokes. We played enough with the guy. Time to collect the material. And that's it, that's it. Thank you very much, by the way, for watching. I see the number. We have more than 500 now watching simultaneously. I remember we started the channel there. I don't know, we had 10 people watching maybe. So now the number is growing. Excellent, nice to see that. We collect the pawn on f6. He keeps on fighting. I don't know why he keeps on fighting, because, yeah, there are not many hopes here for black to survive, but this is what people sometimes do, they just keep on fighting. I think sometimes to resign is the best solution because it's just embarrassing in my opinion. So we take the pawns away. I remember when I was young and when I played GMs, I've been so worried to be sort of embarrassed. I always thought, okay, if I don't resign on time, how do they think about me? Maybe they think I'm a joke and so on, but now it is so normal to play till the checkmate. Times has changed. Finally he resigns because now we have this rook takes c6, knight on e7 with a fork, and the game is done. Yeah, so for example, I think times changed so much from before, because when I was young I could not imagine playing, let's say, with a grandmaster piece down, because I thought this is a sign of disrespect. But yeah, online chess changed everything as well as the board. 20 years ago nobody would be playing till the checkmate, but now we have super GMs playing just till the checkmate, so times has changed a lot. Yeah, welcome everyone to VChess. In case you're enjoying my comments, in case you're enjoying the games, please like and subscribe to join us on our educational chess journey. We have now bishop b5, so it is the opening that I've been playing as well with white. So let's play the same reversed, just to see what happens. Once we played it with the white pieces, now we're gonna play it with the black pieces. We have the move knight on c3, not the best move order, because after knight on c3, I'm capable of taking now with a b pawn. So it is a bit too early for white to have the knight on c3, not a very precise move order. And actually the move e5 is pretty good here, because we go knight e7, short castle, a3, h3. I don't know why to play this move. Looks like just an empty move. And in opening, it's very important not to do the empty moves. So try not to play empty moves in the opening. Let me read the chat for a second, because it's very difficult to play, to comment, and to read the chat. It actually requires a lot of energy. So please just write in English in the chat, no other languages. It is just not fair to the others. So d3 been played on the board, short castle, as we have our strategy of playing the move f5. So it is a little bit similar to King's Indian in my opinion. Not exactly, of course, but a little bit similar. And the problem of the knight on c3 is that there is no c3 d4. In case white could try the c3 d4, then it would be great, but there is no c3 d4, so white is suffering, because what is the idea for white? There is only a3 b4. I can prevent it with, for example, rook to b8. So not the best strategy. Of course, white is not like doing very bad. No, of course not. But I think this position is pretty playable for black, and we of course start our movement on the king side. Bishop on h6, and I believe we have now quite a beautiful way to win a pawn for black. Maybe try to think a little bit here for yourself. I think we have a great way to win the pawn with the black pieces. I will not do the F button now because it's a bit difficult, and I think it is not so easy even. I mean, it's not like 100% that this is great. So no F button, but we have a beautiful tactical solution currently. Maybe try to find it for yourself. It leads to not such an easy position, but maybe better position for black. So try to think for yourself. We have here beautiful tactics. I think this is the best way to improve in case you are trying to find the best moves. Of course, we can play the move f4, and this position is a good position for black because we're gonna start the mating attack later, but I think it is just not the best. We have something better here than to play the move f4. This is my opinion. Let's see if, of course, I might be mistaken, but I think it is working. So Okay, let's try. Let's try the move f takes e4, and our idea is to get this bishop takes h3. So tactics out of basically nowhere. f4 would have been a good move, but I think that I'm capable of winning the pawn on h3. I have this rook takes f3 sacrifice of the exchange. Also looks interesting, but I think why not just to take the h3 pawn, because I don't see how white is capable of doing something now. So we are winning the pawn on h3. Of course, in case white takes, we're gonna take on f3. So small tactics, that's why I'm always advising to all of you. Do a lot of tactics. So important. You must be sharp. Even if you are a great positional player, it will not help you very much in case you're playing against a very sharp player, because yes, you're gonna make the better moves, but he's going to trick you in the end. So always do tactics to be sharp, otherwise you cannot go to a very high level. In case you have time, just half an hour, do some tactics, and you will see you will be improving very quickly, because you will not blunder, plus you are going to punish your opponents for their blunders. So tactics, something very important. As you can see now, the small tactic bishop h3, but still you need to see that it's not like it is super difficult, but not so easy to see. All right, let's take a look what is the chance of white in the current position. I think the chance should be to do something against the pawn on d6, so white should try to get to the pawn d6. This is the best chance for white in my opinion. In case knight goes somewhere, we just gonna go back, pawn up for black, so this is looking like a very good position for blacks. That's why I believe white should try to be very quick on the d file, trying to attack something. There's no better chance, I think. Take or take. Now we can also take here on f3, intermediate move, by the way. Is it good or is it bad? Let's think. Let's think a little bit. Rook f3, let's say gf, not so good, but then bishop h6, and we have hanging, so not so good. I will take the bishop on g7. We should not fall for some trick by white. Knight on g5, attacking the bishop on h3, so obviously we're gonna go back with the bishop. We can play first the move bishop g4 to provoke the move f3, but white to provoke it. So let's just go back, I think, or should we provoke? Okay, this is looking a bit too much, so let's go back. We have this h6 option next. We have the option of playing the move rook to d6, defending the pawn on d6, rook f6, defending the pawn on d6. So pretty safe. We're doing pretty safe still. I don't think there is a real compensation here by white. Yes, white has a bit of compensation, I agree, but this position should be better for black. Currently, we are on a good way. So, what do we have here? Let me read the chat for a second. In case you have some questions, please do ask them in the chat. We have many good people here in the chat, so if it is not me answering, then there will be someone else answering. Don't be shy. Rook on d1, attacking the pawn on d6. I can defend it by playing the move rook f6, easy defense. I can also go h6, knight to f3, and bishop g4. So we will be entering an endgame. But this endgame, not sure. I don't like to enter the endgame. We have also the move d5 here. This might be a beautiful move, but I think it is not working, or it does. I don't know. I don't like to play the move d5. Doesn't look like the right play. We have just bishop a6 attacking the rook, and then knight on c8 defending the pawn on d6, which looks to me like a good decision here. So maybe we will go now with the move bishop a6, but then we have this knight e6 fork. So we cannot do that. We can play first the move h6, then bishop a6, then knight on c8, then the pawn on e5 is falling. What is this? There is no defense of the pawn on d6. How is it possible? This is crazy because we should be able to defend the pawn on d6. Maybe to play the move knight on g8, attacking the knight on g5, but this is some kind of measure that I would not love to take. How can we defend the pawn on d6? Looks weird. If we go h6 followed by the move rook f6, e5 is hanging. To play immediately rook f6 is possible, but I'm not 100% sure because there is some kind of f4 push and it doesn't look so easy. Maybe we should still play it, but looks not easy. What should we play here? Maybe knight on g8. This is a way to play. Okay, let's go with the move knight on g8. We are attacking here the knight on g5 with our queen. For the moment, I think f4 does not work because we can take it. So I try to be solid, but somehow, I don't know, something went very wrong here. I think it should be just a very good position for black, and now suddenly it is sort of shaky. Still, I guess black is doing well, but it's a bit shaky. We have to keep our pawns alive. Very, very important. Knight on g5 is under attack. Okay, here we're gonna give the exchange because it's just too tempting. This is clear. He's going to take bishop on h3 because in case white is taking here, we give a checkmate. So feels very, very tempting to sacrifice the exchange. Next move is to play the move queen on f6. Next move is rook f8, and all we need to do is to bring the knight into the game. In case we get the knight into the game, I think black is going to have almost a winning position. Bishop is so good on h3. Still, it is a fight. This is not an easy walk in the park. It is a fight here. By feeling, black is doing well, but it is just a feeling, so I might be completely wrong. I hope I will be able to defend the pawn on d6. In case I do, then black should be doing very well here. So let's see. Let's see how the game develops. I'm a little bit surprised that he is considering something else than rook on e1, because what else? What else is there? Queen f6 as we planned, attacking the pawn on f3. Still, there is no queen on d6 because of the queen on g5 move. So next we're gonna defend the pawn or to get the rook on f8. So we have two options here with black to continue. In the best case would be, of course, rook to f8. So we are attacking the pawn on f3. It cannot be so easily defended. Position is not easy here. We have to play a good game with the black pieces to win it. I think I should get the rook on. I have to play rook f8. I do see the move f4. Yeah, I see that, but there is nothing I can do about it. This is the thing. Now the knight should somehow join the game. This knight h6 followed by the move knight f7, knight g5 is just game over, but I have to be in time to play it. This is the issue, that I have to be in time. Let's try. Knight on h6. One more move left. One more move left. In case I get the knight to f7, it's gonna be a crush. So very, very close. Very, very close. We have this positional idea, knight f7, knight g5. Can we be in time to play the move knight f7? Then actually it would be a brilliant game, I think, because So interesting the way we did it. We managed to keep the pawn, and now to sacrifice. Let me think. Yes, I think I can play the move knight f7 because I have to be so careful here. So many tricks. For example, knight on g5. We have to calculate something like rook to d6 in a lot of positions. That's why it's important to be very careful now with the black color here. Many tricks. In theory, if we get this queen h4 knight on g5, it should be a checkmate, I think. Or a knight on g5 immediately, or to play h5, h4 is also looking good, but why not to get a queen to h4? Then knight on g5 becomes almost a final threat. King on g7 for the moment is pretty safe, so this is so important that we have the safe king. I think we are doing very well. The game is far from over, so we have to play good chess here to win the game, but it feels now very good with a knight on g5. He likes to defend it by knight on h2, so very passive defense. Usually passive defense is not the best because long term it will be very difficult to save the game. Still, how we can give him a checkmate here. Okay, maybe queen h4 feels like a good move to put the queen on h4. Next, I think knight on g5 might be working, so let's see. Let's see if knight on g5 is working. It might. This would be the game over move, but we still have to wait. Knight on g5, I think. This is a game over move. Let me double check it because it's so important not to make a blunder. Yeah, I think it does work. So maybe it's a beautiful finish move, knight on g5. Let's see if there is a defense for white. You can try to search together with me. I think it's so good to improve your own game, to think by yourself and then to compare it to what happens. So you are getting better. The idea is, I will not tell you the idea because maybe I will be lucky enough to execute the idea. Now after the move, king on h1, how to win the position. I think we have a winning move here. We have a beautiful winning move, by the way. Maybe there are a few winning moves, but I think we have a very nice one. Yeah, we have a very beautiful winning move here. I will push the F because this is what we do. Boom. So try to think for yourself. We have a very nice winning move. Actually, we have a couple of winning moves, so maybe the F button is not correct because there are many ways to win in the current position. But I think the next move is just a beautiful one, so I pushed the F. So the winning move, I have to play it because otherwise I might lose on time. It is the move bishop on g4. We try to get this knight takes f3 done. Maybe there is something else as well. Bishop on g2 was also winning, by the way, with check and take, but then we have this 2 rooks versus queen. So I would like to avoid that. That's why we play the move bishop here. And now the knight f3, I think, is just game over. Or it is not a game over. The king g2, king f1, yeah, it is complete game over, but maybe rook takes f2 is even simpler, because is there something white can do against rook takes f2? I don't see what white is capable of doing, so let's take. The knight on h2 is falling, so he's going to give his queen. Now still we have this pair of rook against a queen, but this position is completely hopeless. So knight on h2 is dead. We control the second row, so we just start collecting the material by simply taking all the pawns. Now we take here on e4, and I think the game is over. There is this check in case the king goes here. Now we can for sure push the F. Boom. Now the F button is for sure the correct one. Please find the next move of black. What a beautiful checkmate is coming now on the board. So I give you last 10 seconds. we have the beautiful checkmate here. Okay, let's give a checkmate. Knight on h3. Very, very beautiful. Very, very beautiful here. Checkmate to the king on g1. Alright, so this was, I think, quite a nice game. Quite tactical as well. So, very good. I see a lot of checkmates in the chat. This is excellent. Like and subscribe in case you're enjoying my comments, of course. Join us on VChess. And I decided to make one thing for the streams. I will be playing just one game against our VChess supporters. Last time I played against I Play Chess, who is a big VChess supporter. And today I thought from the very beginning there have been two people almost every stream with us, and it is HDBM and Solomon. So HDBM and Solomon, in case you would like to play a game, please let me know. Just challenge me on chess.com and we are going to play a game here. Just challenge 10 minutes, turn off the sound so you're not listening to my voice. We play the game. After you can rewatch the game. So HDBM or Solomon, I don't know if you are here. In case you are, let's go with the game. Please challenge me and let me know what is your account, and we will be playing a game. Solomon 1938, can you challenge me please on chess.com? Solomon, please, I am waiting for your challenge. Solomon 1938, yes. Okay, so HDBM eventually. Tonight I don't see HDBM. Also, almost always with us. Solomon, let's go. Turn off my voice. Enjoy the game. Let's start. So, let's see how Solomon is doing. E4. Let's start with E5. Solid opening. We will go with the central play. Knight on C6. And Spanish or Italian, we have the Scotch opening. Wow. Okay, let's take the main line, Knight f6. This is the main line of the Scotch opening. Let's see what Solomon has prepared. Taking on c6, taking, and the main line goes now with the move e5. Yes, we are in the very, very main line. Queen e7. Usually now the move is queen on e2. Knight on d5. All is still theory. c4. Now there are many options here for black. Okay, with many I mean bishop a6 as a main, or knight on b6 as a main. Let's go with the move knight on b6. The idea for black here is usually to place the move a5 and then to get bishop on a6. Let's see what Solomon has prepared against the move knight on b6. Position will get very, very shaky here very early, because a lot of tricks for white and as well a lot of tricks for black. So it can become very, very tactical very, very quickly. So let me read the chat. Again, I'm usually not playing viewers, just again the people who are supporting us daily, and Solomon is one of them. HDBM is the other one that is here always with us. Because I cannot play a lot of viewers, then we don't have educational stream any longer. Bishop on f4 is unusual, because with white, normally knight on c3 this is what we see. After bishop on f4, I have the option of maybe playing the move g5, bishop on g7, so we get this very good bishop here on g7. Maybe as well there's bishop a6 now. Let's think about it. Attacking the pawn on c4, then we have this knight on d2 defense. Maybe I have the option of playing queen on b4, but I'm not very sure. So maybe I will just go with the move g5, winning a tempo because the bishop is now under attack, and I will try to put my bishop to g7. So the bishop in theory is going to be huge on g7. Obviously not so simple here. Everything, as you can see, a bit strange position for white and for black. I have the option of playing queen on b4, so as well I must always think about queen on b4. It might be a very good move. but might be also a bad move, so it is like 50-50, but it is a move that we should always consider. So let's see first where the bishop goes from f4. Bishop on g3, very logical play, defending the pawn on e5. Is it time now to play this queen on b4 check, knight on c3? Next move of white might be long castle, but I think we can play after knight on c3, knight a4. Trying to make use out of this pin here. Very complicated position. Very complicated position. I don't know. Maybe good, maybe bad. More conservative is just to play the move bishop g7, put the king into relative safety, short castle, and then let's see what happens next. So this is more conservative play. This is also possible, but it's very tempting to give a check here on b4. Very, very tempting check. So I don't know. Should we give a check? Let's go. Let's go with a check on b4 because it's just so tempting. Now the bishop is on g3, and the problem is that usually white is having the bishop on c1. So there is always this bishop d2, knight c3, b3, so it's pretty safe. Now with the bishop on g3, the things around the white king might get tricky. This is the idea of queen on b4. Very risky, of course, because we're giving, for example, a tempo here, but I will be trying immediately to do some damage to the structure of white. So let me read the chat. All right. Queen is on b4. Let's see what Solomon is going to answer. The check on b4. I believe we will see most probably the knight move. And after, we will be trying with this knight on a4. Maybe also I can go bishop a6. Yes, the knight move as we expected. Question, can I go bishop on a6, attacking the pawn on c4? There is no defense, but there is this long castle move, and knight will try to get to e4 and give me this very unpleasant check on f6. So, should we go bishop a6 or knight a4? We have two options here. Both deserve attention, but the problem is with this bishop a6, there's some a3 move. And queen takes c4 may be possible, but looks like crazy position because there is queen on d2 and the bishop might fall. So in case of bishop a6, a3, we have to go here. Queen on b3, there is nothing else. And then the knight gets to e4 and f6. Yes, this might be a good position for black because we will hide with the king on d8, but this is like very tricky, very tricky everything. Knight on a4 is looking like more solid decision, at least less risk, let's call it like this. On the other hand, there is some kind of queen on c2. Can I win the pawn on b2? Maybe, but maybe also I cannot. No idea. No idea if knight a4 or bishop on a6. Two moves. Both are looking pretty decent. Maybe bishop a6, because it is developing the piece first. So I like to develop the pieces first in most of the cases. That's why if I have a choice between, for example, knight a4, bishop a6, maybe bishop a6. Both, I think, are looking pretty interesting. But bishop a6 is developing a piece, so we have this option of long castle. We should not forget, the long castle option could be very, very useful in many occasions. So bishop a6 maybe is the right choice, but hard to say, hard to say. So I see a question in the chat, what to do in case of queen on d2. So let's scroll two moves back, the knight was here, queen on d2. I thought that maybe I'm able to take the pawn on c4 with a knight, because if queen takes on b4, then I have this bishop takes b4 with a check. So I think it was correct play by Solomon to have the knight on c3. This is correct. The problem of white is the bishop on g3. So the bishop usually belongs here on d2. Bishop is protecting the white king. Now on g3 the bishop is not doing much. It looks like a beautiful bishop, but bishop is just standing and waiting for the next move of black. So good bishop is sometimes a bad bishop. In chess sometimes it's so difficult actually to say what is good and what is bad. Welcome to everyone who is new to VChess. Please like and subscribe. We have here educational content for those of you who are a little bit more serious about getting better at chess. We are staying objective. We have a nice app on the market. You can enjoy it with friends and family. Soon there will be another another app coming to the market. You will be able to play live games. Directly live games with your friends from home. So queen on c2 makes sense. Now I will try to take the pawn. I can take it with a bishop and I can take it with a knight. So bishop or a knight, both is sort of possible. Probably if I take it with a knight there is some kind of long castle idea. So still, in case I take it with the bishop, there is a long castle idea. So long castle is unavoidable. My idea could be as well to do the long castle in the right moment. So maybe just to take with the bishop is feeling more safe. Long castle could be played next. King would be relative safe here on c8, and we managed to win a pawn. So looks like a good start. In case I take with a knight, long castle, the knight on c4, it's a good piece and simultaneously a bad piece because I'm not doing much there. Except I'm gonna play something like rook to b8, but very double-edged because my king is still on e8. So maybe more easy it is to take with a queen. I will get my bishop next to b4, and I have the long castle idea to be very, very safe with my king on e8. So this could be the way to play. All right, let's see what happens next. What Solomon would like to do. I think all the problems started with the move bishop f4, bishop g3. Now Solomon is playing quite a good game, but it is just problematic to have this bishop down position. It is feeling like I'm just a piece up in the game. Bishop on g3 is not doing much. In case of h4, we have the option of playing g4, and again, how to free the bishop from g3. Not so easy. King on e1, long castle is possible. Maybe with the idea knight e4. So here we go with the move h4. As we said, we go with the move g4 to keep the bishop still on g3. Long castle followed by the move knight to e4. I think it is looking like the best for white, but not so easy. The pawn is going to be under attack on a2, so not an easy position for Solomon. Black is doing better. Knight to e4, main idea. With black, bishop b4 or long castle next. So these are the main moves that probably we will see next. Long castle. Queen to e2. So Solomon is trying to reach an endgame. Well, endgame pawn down. Obviously, it is better for black. So we can be now 100% sure that black is doing better. Since we wanted to go bishop b4, I think we just play the move bishop on b4. In theory, we would like to get this position knight versus bishop on g3, because bishop on g3 still not the best. Still just watching the pawn on e5. Sometimes just to protect something is not enough. Bishop on b4. Idea, bishop takes c3 next. So this is clear with white. Not so easy to give an advice to Solomon currently because it is worse. In case you do short castle, I'm gonna take just on c3 and we have much better endgame for black because we are pawn up, number one. Number two, the bishop on g3 will be out of the game. So position of black is better. What is happening here in the chat? In case you have some questions, of course, please do ask them in the chat. Don't be shy. So Solomon is also getting under time pressure slowly here. Now we have the endgame. In theory, knight takes b2 could be a threat. So probably Solomon is going to long castle now because rook to b1. Is it possible to play the move rook to b1? In case we take, then king on d2 might be the trick by Solomon, but on the other hand, we just take and we run away with the knight, so we will be 2 pawns up. Well, 2 pawns up, usually it's a good idea. So we take with the knight on b2, we still have here the pin. Probably king on d2 because there's nothing else to defend the knight on c3. And after the move king on d2, we can play here knight c4, or we just simply take. I think it's even more easy simply to take here, to play knight a4, followed by the move knight on b6, followed by the move knight on d5. So we are returning with our knight to the beautiful square on d5. Next, we're gonna play king 2. So here comes the check. Next, king e7, king e6. So it's very important to keep the king in the center. So let's go with the move king e7, followed by the move king to e6. We keep the king central. We're a couple of pawns up. Knight is getting here to d5, and I think you feel the domination of the knight versus the bishop. So the knight is way better here. King e6, as we said. Excellent position. Next is the check on d5. Pawn is under attack. We will not give white the pawn, so we just defend the pawn. As well, we can defend the pawn with a king. So king is so good in an endgame in a central position. Rook on d1. Maybe the idea is to play this rook on d4. Trying to attack the pawn on g4 makes sense. So we will not allow the move rook on d4 to happen. c5. Simple move. Avoiding the move rook on d4. Still we have the option of playing knight on d5 check in case we need it. I think it's very visible that bishop on g3. As we said very early in the game, this is the main problem of white, the bishop on g3, and this remains the main problem of white. The bishop has no squares to go. This is just a bishop that is defending the pawn on e5, but yeah, this is not enough. So, now let's give a check on d5. Solomon is fighting like a lion, but the bishop on g3. It is feeling like it is just a bishop down. We play the move rook to b8, so it's time for a final attack on the white king, because white king feels very undefendable, very alone here. The rook on h4, far away. Solomon is taking the pawn on c5, but it's gonna be a checkmate. To survive this kind of thing is almost impossible because your king is solo. Never leave your king alone. Let's think about how we can give a checkmate in the current position. This kind of rook b4 move, I think, is looking very nice in my opinion. So let's go with the move rook to b4 because we have a mating idea now, and it is to get the second rook with a checkmate here. King on c5. Poor king, poor king. f3, the final try to open the bishop from g3, but it is all too late. So we play the move rook to b8. Here is a deadly threat of a checkmate, and there's nothing to do, yeah? So, good fight by Solomon, but the bishop g3, this is what made the white's position so difficult. Bishop on g3, without it, it would be just a normal game. Alright, I hope you like my comments. Please enjoy to like us, to subscribe to VChess. We have educational chess channel. Solomon, I hope you enjoyed the game. Most welcome, most welcome. We continue playing 10 minutes rapid games with our random opponents. So, thanks Solomon as well for the game. I think bishop f4, bishop g3. This is what went wrong. I think you felt that the bishop on g3 is poorly positioned after. This is why you had all the trouble, yeah, basically playing piece down. d4, e6, so new game, we play an opponent with a lot of... The name is funny, I cannot even spell it out, I don't know how to spell that. Break, I don't know. Okay, d4, e6, probably it is a guy that plays always a French defense. Because we could have gone e4 and got the French defense. Now we go for Catalan. So bishop on g2, c5, short castle. All is very normal. Just the beginning line of the Catalan. c4, bishop e7. It is going into Naiditsch, not very popular line to play bishop e7. The main is to take on c4. So now we have the Naiditsch. There are a few ways to play the Naiditsch with the white pieces. Of course, also a few ways to play it with the black pieces. Let's go with the move knight on c3 first. What do we have in the chat? Let me read for a second. So, short castle. All right. Normally we just take on d5 and we try to get this kind of little bit better position. We're taking now the pawn on c5. Still, it is nothing new here. All is well known, and the idea for white is to play the move bishop on g5. As you can see, we have here this kind of nasty pin, d4 plate, and we have knight to e4 move, or we have the move of taking here and try to be like very little better with the white pieces. So let's think about. There's also another line with the move knight to a4. Maybe we can also try this line, because I don't know, I'm not a big fan of this line, by the way, but it is a funny line. So let's try something funny. The main would be to go here, but let's go with the move knight a4 just to irritate our opponent a little bit. We would like to take the bishop, and in case the bishop goes back, this would be normal. We'll get the rook to c1, and next would be to put the knight on c5. So this is the idea. This is the idea by white. And in case black is gonna play something like h6, then we're gonna take on f6, and then we have this monster knight on c5. Black was a bishop pair, so of course black will always have good chances here to be equal, but white is pushing a little bit because the bishop on f6 will be not so great, just watching the pawn on d4. Bishop e7 as expected, so here we go, the move for rook on c1. This is what we wanted. We can expect moves like h6, I think. Yeah, this is what we see, so let's just take it and get the beautiful knight here. Very nice position. Next, the knight from f3 will be getting here to d3. This is also very typical idea for white. It looks weird because we are going back, but it is quite good because the bishop is getting very powerful from g2, and the knight is going to take a perfect position on d3. So quite a good plan, I think. Also good plan to be remembered by all of you, in my opinion. Knight e1, knight on d3, quite nice. Another idea is to get the pawn to b4, but this is difficult because we have to... Oh, he gives us a little bit of a tempo by playing queen a5 because we have this a3 b4 now. So it gets a bit easier. On the other hand, the a3 pawn will be under attack. I'm not sure that this is a great move by our opponent because it feels weird. Why to put the queen on a5? Maybe he wants to win the pawn on a2, but ooh. Is it possible to take the pawn? So for example, we go here, he's going to take the pawn, and maybe it's possible to take the pawn. Looks very strange, but maybe. Okay, let's play something simple. a3. Maybe I should have done something else, but this is just a simple move. It looks like it should be better for white. So we are playing simple chess in case we can. Very simple strategy. Simple chess, simple strategy, simple moves, and eventually a simple result. So rook on d8, defending the pawn on d4. So we go with what we wanted actually to play here. Also feels quite good because we get so many tempos. I really dislike the move queen a5 because it feels like it gives me just some tempo. Maybe now black can take the pawn on a3, but I don't know. I don't like the move queen a5 so much. So let's go with the move knight e1, knight on d3. We're executing the idea to be slightly better here with the white pieces. You see the bishop on g2 is becoming a monster. And after playing the move knight on d3, the bishop on f6 is sort of out of the game. That's why the idea knight e1, knight on d3 is just so important. In most of the cases, in case white gets to d3, white will be doing better, so let's see what happens next in our game. Still, it remains quite unclear, but it looks like slightly better for white now. Let me read the chat. Do we have some interesting questions in the chat? How can I use VChess? I want some tip from him for be better in chess, in cheese. Yeah. Tough question, especially the spelling of the question is not easy. Okay, let's go with the move knight on d3. We're defending the knight on c5. Now b4 should be possible somewhere. I think slowly it is very visible how good is the bishop on g2 in combination with the knight on c5. So good, yeah. So, I'm a new subscriber. Welcome to VChess. If the bishop pair for black, giving him a concrete advantage. No, bishop pair is never something like concrete. Bishop pair just in theory gives you a chance to be better in an endgame. So bishop pair needs space. Let's say we would take away the pawn on d4 and the pawn on e2. Then the bishop pair is powerful because bishop pair is so good on a long distance. But now we have bishop pair, but the bishop on e7 was recently on f6, just watching own pawn. So the bishop pair, in theory, endgame, yes. But in case the white knights are so well positioned and protected, then bishop pair has no value. This is the thing about chess, that sometimes the same thing can have a different meaning. This is very problematic about chess, that yes, bishop pair is good, but it's not always good. Queen on b6. What is the idea of the move queen on b6? Maybe to take on c5? Could be the idea to take on c5. Maybe, but I'm just gonna take back, so this is not dangerous. We can play the move b4, I think. Looking nice. We can also go back, but this is not what I would like to do. So, what should we play? Should we play the move b4? We can also go queen to a4, a little bit more active. I think queen a4 is looking good because we might be able to win the pawn on b7. But then there is this kind of bishop g4 idea, attacking the pawn on e2. We have this rook e2 defense, alright. So queen a4 is looking like a good move in my opinion. As well, b4 is looking like a good move, so we have to choose. We have to make a choice between the move b4 and queen to a4. What's better? Hard to say. Both looks pretty well. This is the usual problem of chess. When you have a choice, you start to hesitate. I don't know. Let's go queen a4. Feels to me like the right choice. Maybe b4 was better, but queen a4 feels good. We would like to win the pawn eventually on b7. We still have the idea of playing b4 in case we need it. So let's develop the queen. In theory, we have to be careful with this move bishop g4 a little bit, attacking the pawn on e2. We can defend it by rook e1, but I would like to play, of course, without the defense, because I'm aiming to win the pawn on b7. Look at this knight on d3, beautiful knight, defending everything here, controlling the b2, controlling the center. Next move, knight takes b7, winning the pawn might be the right choice for white. So let's see if black is capable of defending against this. Knight takes on b7. So bishop takes c5. Normal, and knight takes. I think in case black is taking here, we have the move rook to b1, but is it good or bad? Not 100% sure, so let's go with a rook takes c5 just to be safe again. We calculated knight c5, not 100% sure, so we take with the rook. Easy solutions in case we have the easy solutions on the board. Now knight on d3, still very powerful. No more bishop pair for black. White is having a better position. Bishop on d7, defending here on c6. Also this is looking pretty normal. Now, should we move away the queen from here, for example, to c2 and then to play rook c1? Looks very tempting, so I think I will play the move queen on c2. Next, rook on c1, next b4, so we put even more pressure now on the position of black. Is it a winning position for white? No, of course not. We are just doing a little bit better, but slowly, this little bit better might get into a stage where we will be a lot better. So let's get the pieces well positioned. We will see what happens next. Knight on e7. Is there something dangerous here? I don't think so. So let's go with the move b4. We are slowly advancing. So next, let's try to get the pawn on d4. Let's try to win the pawn on d4. This is the next stage of the game. We have options like knight on e5 in case we need it. We have to wait for a good moment to play the move knight on e5. So for example here we have the option of playing bishop h3, quite unpleasant by the way. We can simply take or we can simply do nothing. In all the cases, white in my opinion is doing clearly better, but I like the move bishop on h3 because we are trying to get the rook on c8. And the rook has to be moved away from the c-file, so we'll win the battle on the c-file, and this is a huge battle. This is a huge and very important battle, because now we are controlling the game. Let's go with the move knight on e5 next. The white pieces are getting very active now. Knight, very good positioned on e5 central square. Still, we would like to win some material, so after being positionally better, the next stage is to be some material up. So we are not yet some material up. We have to win something. Just to be better is not enough. We have to win something. So how can we win some material here? Because we're getting close to a moment where we should be able to win something. Very nice pieces here. Controlling c-file. Still, the game is far from over. So, Let me see if we have some interesting questions in the chat. On a GM level, if you have 0.7 advantage, this 0.7 is completely meaningless because it depends. 0.7 is just computer evaluation. That is in most of the cases meaningless. It can be 0.7, but actually you can be worse because you cannot find the next moves. So the 0.7 does not matter. If you have a positional but safe advantage, this is what GMs are doing well. Yes, if you're safely better, then it's tough to escape already. But in case you have, for example, very tactical position, and 0.7 is completely meaningless. It has no meaning. So it depends very much on the position. These computer evaluations in most of the cases are not correct. Not correct, I mean from the practical point of view. Of course, computer is correct. Computer is much better than the human, but I mean, it has no meaning for a human. So this is the problem. Rook on f8. Can we win the current game somehow? I don't know how to win it immediately, so let's win it slowly. We're just gonna take the bishop, then we play bishop on g2 back. So here we have this monster bishop on g2 versus not so good knight on c6. The advantage of white is getting visible, and I believe that slowly we will be as well. Some material up. How to defend the knight on c6? Maybe it is not possible to defend the knight. If the knight moves away, we'll be playing queen e4, and then we can collect the pawn on d4, or we're gonna collect the pawn on b7. Opponent decides to give up on the c6 pawn, trying to get some counterplay against the pawn on e2. Yeah, makes sense, makes sense. Maybe not a bad choice, by the way, but I can take and have just a much better with a position with white, but I think we might be capable of playing a little bit even more trickier than that. So let's go with the move queen on c4. I would like to take on c6 in a good version. So I will get a very good rook endgame, or queen on c4 is good because it's not only that I want to take on c6 next. Maybe I'm gonna win the pawn on d4 first, or maybe I'm gonna play king f1 first, defending the pawn on e2. So it's like a positional move. We keep all the options open. There is rook b5, there is bishop takes c6. It makes the next move of black pretty difficult. So sometimes not to play the easiest move is the best practical decision. It might be not the best objective decision, but the most practical decision. Of course, I could have taken here on c6, nothing wrong with that, but I believe this move is not running away. So we have the move knight on e5. I think I can just take the pawn on d4. So pawn up for white. Next stage is to win the game, basically, because we have now already some material more. We can go queen f4, very safe. We can also go like queen on b2, feels also very safe here. Good position. We're defending the pawn on e2 just in case. Queen f6, little trick here, knight on f3. We will not be falling for the trick. So how can we finish the game here? I think queen on b3 is looking decent. Still, we have to be a little bit careful. Let's go back. Bishop is very strong, so let's go for a winning endgame. No endgame. All right. Let's. There is some kind of queen takes c2, some trick, but I think this trick doesn't work, or it does. So we have to be a little bit careful. Actually, our opponent's so tricky, so tricky. So let's go rook c3. He started to play so well, having little time on the clock. So now I really need to focus to win the game. Endgame. Endgame one more time. No endgame? Alright. No endgame. h3. Positional move not to get mated on the first rank. So, little time on the clock for both of the players. Now, knight on g6. He's so tricky. Incredibly tricky guy. Look at this. Let's go rook e3. We have the unpleasant pin. So, safety first. Now, how to win the game. Should be winning somehow. Let's advance a little bit. Now we should be able to do something unpleasant to black. Let's go with the move f4. Let's take. Let's play rook c8, and I think that's it. Because we're taking, we're winning the knight on g6. That's gonna be game over. So all in all, step by step, we improved our position. And finally, we managed to win some material. So slowly is usually the best way to achieve a good result in chess. No rush, no rush. Very, very important. In case you like my comments, in case you like VChess and the games we play, like and subscribe, of course, to our educational channel. There will be many things coming on VChess very soon. Another Grandmaster might join the live stream, so we will improve the amount of live streams per day. I personally hope that we will get slowly direction 8-10 hours daily live streams. This would be my wish. Not easy, obviously, because it takes a lot of time, but this is the direction where I would love to go. So next game we have the Caro-Kann defense. Let's go with the move knight on d2 followed by the move knight on b3. Quite a rare line, but it's not like super rare, so can be played with white. By the way, quite interesting for those of you who like this kind of structures with the white pieces. This is something to be considered. Very playable. Now I see HDBM is back. HDBM is back. In case you will be here at the evening, let's play some game online, in case you like. I have been playing Solomon before. C5. Normally, we should take the pawn on c5, so let's take it. Knight is taking on c5, but is it a good position for black? This is the question. I can take here, I can go like knight on d4, check on b5. This is looking like a very dangerous position for black in my opinion. This move order that we see by my opponent is a bit confusing. Usually black is not playing this kind of move order. So should I take or should I play knight on d4? Should I play this knight on d4? Everything is looking very nice, but maybe let me take. Maybe I should have played knight on d4, by the way. I don't know. I don't know what is better, so let's make a move. Now we can expect the bishop to take the knight. And then we're gonna give a check, and then we're gonna play short castle. So black is going to play with the king in the center. Oh, queen i5. Very surprising answer. Looks just weird. So we can go with the move c3, I believe. I don't understand the move queen a5 like at all, because it doesn't stop us from giving the check on a4. So still the king is gonna be here. Why to play queen a5? I don't know. Also, he plays extremely quickly. This is a typical mistake, because in complex position it's better to have a little bit of thoughts than just to play some random move and to get into very difficult position. Obviously now black is on the limit of just losing the game. In a classical chess, basically there would be no recover from this position in case you're playing on a good level, because you're just doing so badly that there will be no recovery from something like getting this position. In case we are playing online game, of course everything can happen, but so ugly here with a king on d8. Next, we should be able to explode in the center, so we should bomb the center and try to give a checkmate. So how can we explode the center? It is usually by playing the move c4. Is looking good. Of course, to put the knight on d4 is also looking like, yeah, why not? The knight is gonna be so well placed on d4. So what should we play next? What is the easiest way to win the position here? I don't know. I don't know. Everything is looking just so good. Maybe knight on d4, because No idea what is the next move by my opponent. Or bishop e3 followed by the move c4. And then just to take on d5, and basically that's it. Doesn't look like black is capable defending positions like that, so alright. Let's go with the move bishop e3, feels good. We're attacking the queen on c5, gaining a tempo. Feels quite natural in my opinion. Queen has to be moved. In case queen c6, we have here attacking the queen once again. Queen on c7, yeah, this is normal. And I saw that it's time to play the move c4, but maybe it is not. Maybe just a simple bishop e2, for example, is also very, very good. Okay, let's go with a simple move. Bishop e2, we're gonna castle short side, and after we're gonna play the move c4, so it's not running away from us. The move c4. Bishop on c5. A try to be okay with the black pieces. Yes, it's possible play. Now, should we just take it or should we play the move knight on d4? Both is looking very good, so maybe let's take. Let's do the simple moves, simple solutions. Usually is the best. Now let's castle short side. And next we will be playing, finally opening the center, and I believe that it's going to be very, very difficult for black to hold this kind of position because king is on d8 and soon we will be attacking the black king with all our pieces. So big pressure here, big pressure. So knight on e7. Let's play the move that we wanted. c4. We're opening the game. Idea of white is so simple to have here the pressure against the king on d8. King is so misplaced. That's why normally I should be able to create a mating attack here. Rook to d1 is looking normal, then we get knight on d4, then we get bishop f3, and it should be game over. For black, the only chance to escape is to get some kind of endgame, but how to get an endgame here? Obviously, I will never go for any kind of endgame. So very, very difficult to get an endgame for black, but there's nothing else. In case black is not getting an endgame, it's gonna be a checkmate. No way to save the game having the king on d8, except, of course, of some major mistake by me. But for the moment, the things are going well. I think our opponent is not playing a great game, especially in the beginning, to get this kind of king on d8 position, knight on c6. Alright, so there's queen on b4. This is the idea to get an endgame, but I think we're capable of just taking here on d5. Next could be rook to d1. Queen f4 is also looking like just a winning position. Rook on c1. There's queen on b4. So this is the only thing that I should avoid to get this kind of endgame. The rest is looking like it is game over simply. So I think I can give a check here on h4 because it feels so natural. Queen e7 maybe is the next move that we're gonna play. The move queen f4 immediately. I don't know. It looks, everything is looking winning here. Again, we have the same problem that too many good moves to be that are available. So what should we do here? We have to take just one. I think maybe queen f4 is actually the easiest way to finish the game. So let's go queen to f4, attacking the bishop on f5. I don't know where the bishop goes. Maybe e6. And then we're gonna bring the rook into the game. I thought that I'm capable of playing here, or maybe knight f5. What is simpler? Because we also have the check and winning the pawn on g7 in case we need it, but I think at the moment there is no need for it. Knight on g5, there might be some knight on d4 idea, but okay, let's put just the rook to d1 just in case. We have all the time in the world, so no rush here. H6. In his case, I would rush the things a little bit. Now, rook to c1. Beautiful, beautiful rooks. Next, we should be capable of winning the game. Maybe bishop c4, does it win the game already? Or knight on d4 is also looking like game over. What is the easiest way to win the current position? Also here, queen on g3 is looking very good. What is the easiest way to win the game? Bishop c4, what is the defense for black there? King e7 maybe is a move to be played. Then I have this check, so it is a win. Okay, maybe queen on g3, just the safest way. We're trying to get the pawn on g7. So bishop c4 is coming next. I believe we are very, very close to win the game. Very, very close. There is some kind of queen takes b2 idea somewhere. I don't know. Maybe I played not very good, to be honest, but it should be enough to win the game. Bishop on c4. The pawn on d5 is under attack. Is it a win? Is it game over? Or there's still something black can do? Next move, maybe just to take the pawn. So queen comes here. Okay, there are some very, very small chances for our opponent to save the game, but they are very, very small. So it should be enough to win the game, I think. At least it looks like that, but let's see how the game develops next. In chess, you never know. Maybe also I can play the move a3 first, just in case. Also very interesting, after king e7, somewhere knight takes g5 might be working. But I think just to take the pawn is the right decision, yeah, I think. Let's take the pawn. Wow, he is defending the pawn, but how is it possible that I'm not winning here? This would be just too much, no? I can take with the rook. Looks like a winning position, but maybe to play h4 also feels like a winning position. Too many options here to finish the game. Actually, to take an e6 also feels very, very good. I think I'm gonna choose the move h4 because it feels very, very nice. I would like just to take, so the king can never be stable on e7. In case of g4, we have simple move here, so we just go back. We would like to take next on g5. Maybe I should have taken, by the way, on g5, take h6. Alright, next, knight on d4. So we continue being just much better. There is no rush here in the current position to win the game fast, quickly. I don't care about winning the game quickly. That's why we're continuing pushing again the king on e7. Very, very poor position of the king on e7. So we should be able to make use out of this. Maybe we have here as well this beautiful sacrifice, get the knight on d4, then we play queen f3 and get the queen to f6. The problem, we have too many good options here for white. This is the only problem that we are facing. Sometimes when you have too many good moves, it's difficult to find the best. The choice one of the biggest problems in chess is the choice. Let's see what happens next. I think I want to take on g5. So probably he's going to defend against the move h takes g5, and we will play the move knight on d4. So most probably he will take the knight on d4 because there is nothing else. So I will pre-move knight takes d4 because just I don't have so much time on the clock. I have to be a little bit careful with the time. Position is looking like it is very, very good. Maybe I could have won way faster, but we're playing quite a safe game. This is a good thing. So he's not taking the knight on d4. No, now he takes. Just the moment I don't have my pre-move, he takes. We are trying to get the pawn on d5 next. So bishop takes d5. As you can see, g5 pawn is hanging. King still remains on e7. I think our strategy went perfectly well. We executed very, very well the strategy we had to play against the king on e7. If black can escape here, doesn't look like that. So let's go with the move, maybe queen f6 next, and it might be game over already in case there is no defense. We have bishop takes d5 and queen to f6 next. It might be just over. Is it over or not yet? Let me give a checkmate to my opponent. I think we can take queen e1, king to h2, and it is game over. Yeah, I think we are capable of finishing the game. So let me double check it. Yeah, it looks like that. So we're gonna take, and I think it's a win. There is no way to save the game for black any longer. So he has to take most probably, but yeah. So take. There is a check, of course. I saw the check, but I think it is just over. We go away, and now we have, for example, rook d7, which wins the game almost instantly. Also, queen to a3 check is winning the game instantly. Which move should we choose to win the game? Also, h5 is very good, just in case to have it. Let's calculate a little bit, just in case. I think to give a check is the right decision, because maybe rook c5 was easier. I don't know. Sometimes we have so many ways to win, and then it is a bit confusing. So let's take. Looks like a checkmate coming next, no? It looks like a checkmate. To defend this kind of position with the black pieces feels like impossible. So we're just giving a checkmate. Is it over? Is it over, or there is something black can do actually to save the game here? Let's see. So we give a check. We play queen g8 check. Wow. So we take. Ooh. He likes to survive in the current position. Not gonna work. We have here the deadly check. And now here the next move is a checkmate. I push the F. Boom. Because we have the checkmate in the next move. So beautiful finish of a nice game. White is winning. I give you time to think about the next move. White is winning. Too easy. I know you're good guys here on VChess, but still, it's a beautiful checkmate. White is winning. The next move is the last 5 seconds, and I will play the move. checkmate by playing g3. So a beautiful checkmate in the end. We had a good strategy from the beginning. We played against the king in the center. Finally, we are giving him a checkmate. So slowly, it looked like maybe I could have finished the game earlier. But all in all, I think step by step, it was going not badly, and we gave him basically 0 chances to come back, which is extremely important. So very, very important not to give chances of coming back. Let me see the chat. Excellent. G3, a lot of checkmates. Very, very good. Like, subscribe, obviously, in case you're enjoying my comments. We have a question by Bean. Question regarding talking awkward lines to annoy opponent. If I'm mixing that into my play in some situations, but rarely, how often is too often? What do I mean by talking awkward lines? It's forbidden to talk when you're playing. So usually don't talk when you're playing. During a classical chess game, you're not allowed to talk, so you cannot annoy your opponent by talking. This is not like you have boxing match. Taking. All right, sorry. Annoy opponent. I'm mixing that into taking opponent to rare line. I don't know. So again, I think in case you want to improve, you don't need to do something very complex, but we have to play central chess. So put your pieces to the center, develop your pieces, and you will improve your result. Because if you make a specific strategy before going into a game, then you're limiting yourself very, very much to something particular. You should try to be flexible. So you cannot have just one strategy that you're trying to execute. You should be flexible. If you need to defend. If you can attack, then go for the attack. So you have to be flexible in the things you do. To make just one strategy before the game, this is just wrong. This is not a good strategy. Sometimes opponent forces you to play awkward. I don't think so. Bin, just you have to stay calm. You have to stay calm and you have to stay objective. Try to play according to the position. If you have the chance, attack. If you have to defend, so act according to what is happening on the chessboard. I think this is a bad idea. Bean does not like to get creative too often, but again, I can only advise you, stay flexible. In a chess game, you have to be flexible. As a chess player, you have to be a flexible player. You cannot just do one thing you like. It is all depending on the position. So if position is better, attack. If position is worse, just defend. You have to be a flexible player. There is no other way to play. So let's see. By the way, thank you very much for watching. I hope you are enjoying my games. I hope you are getting as well something useful for yourself. By the way, I would like to ask you, especially for those of you who are regular here, you can always write us an email, present your ideas, how to improve something. We would be very happy about it. Of course, it's not a promise that this is going to happen, but write us an email with your creative ideas. Write us an email in case maybe you would like to open a chess club. We can provide you with a full business plan with everything. So don't be shy. Send us emails. I promise you, you will get a response quite fast. There is no bad idea. Of course, not every idea can be executed, but there are no bad ideas. So let's build a nice and great chess community here on VChess. This is my target. So all of us, we work together. All of us, we try to make the chess world a little bit better, because probably in case some of you do play on a club level, you know that a lot of things in the chess world are going very, very badly. Most of the chess companies are purely focused on the profit, so they bomb you with marketing and with things that are completely useless for you to improve. That's why here on VChess, because I am a chess player, because I am a chess grandmaster, we try to do the things better, which is not so easy, believe me. For example, to stream daily, can you imagine how much time it takes? And to stream takes as well a lot of energy. So not so simple everything. Let's see what else do we have here. Hari BM is there. Okay, Hari, again, I will be back tonight with my next stream. Hari, if you are there tonight, we will be able to play a game. I will be playing just one game against people who are supporting us per stream. I cannot play more than one game because then the stream is not getting the right direction. So just one game per stream. This is what we can do. All right, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I think we played some nice games, especially here, the last position. We finished today the stream with a beautiful checkmate to the Black King on h4. So well, I hope to see you tonight. I will be back. I'm not sure exactly what time I can afford to start my stream tonight. It will be or approximately 9:10, I think, p.m. Emirates time, because a lot of things to do and it's difficult for me to plan exactly, but I try to be daily with you. So hope to see you tonight. Otherwise, as usual, we say on VChess, one smart move at a time. This is all what is needed in chess, in life, in everything you do. Thank you for watching. See you at the evening. Have a great day.